Let me say first, Josue, thank you for your help with that particular crazy dream that you were showing, the what we call the projected desert, which is in Omega Mart, Meow Wolf's Las Vegas location, because I had a crazy dream for that particular room. And I led that whole exhibition as the creative director, but that room was one that I kept really close. Like at the other spaces, I had other creative directors that I was overseeing. But that particular room was one that was like kind of my baby, and one that was really really important to me personally, and came out of my dreams. But I didn't know how to realize that dream, and you and your team were able to figure out how to make that thing happen, because it was quite a complicated technical and creative challenge to untangle and to solve. So thank you for that. Yeah, so what I'm working on now, Submersive, I'll share a couple of images here. It's really a continuation of that question that drove Meow Wolf in the early years, which is how do we create even more impactful, like deeper, more meaningful experiences? And so for me, that means creating things that have profound benefit to the people that experience them. It's not just an entertainment experience, but can we create something that's therapeutic or even transformative? And so that's really what's driving Submersive. So like a little look under the hood and kind of how we think about what we're working on with Submersive. It's a blend of kind of, I'd say, three different worlds. The first one is thermal baths. So dry sauna, wet sauna, hot baths, cold baths, things you'd find in a kind of spa or bathhouse. And we're blending those elements with immersive art elements. So lighting, sound, video, interactivity, storytelling. And then all of that is kind of empowered by emerging science and technology. And so the thinking here is, how do we leverage the insights that are coming out? Like neuroscience is just kind of going through this incredible explosion right now in people's awareness, but also in the amount of research that's happening, and kind of looking under the hood of like, how do different things affect us? And in this subset of neuroscience called neuroaesthetics, there's a specific area of inquiry around how do multisensory experiences, how do environments affect us? And the thrust of neuroaesthetics is basically says that, which is intuitive to us as designers, right? But says that when you add multiple layers of sensory stimuli into a system, into a nervous system, or into a person, when you align those, you get more leverage over their state of being. There's all kinds of interesting implications to that, I think. And we're also really curious about other emerging things like machine learning and biometrics, and kind of how can an environment that we design be responsive to our state and be optimized to shift or change our state. So you could think of Submersive as not just a really interesting immersive experience has like intrinsic entertainment value or like a lot of novelty, but as a space that's designed to help us attune to these kind of high value states of being. And so we think of it as the spa that takes you beyond relaxation into elevated states: awe, wonder, euphoria, unburdening, catharsis, transcendence, deep connectedness, connection to yourself, connection to others, connection to nature, connection to our shared humanity. And that's one of the pieces that, of many that the visual art element brings. Right? That's what artists do, is help us connect to our humanity and feel a sense of resonance with our community, our species. And this fusion of immersive art, kind of traditional bathing modalities, where we're creating environments that we think will have tremendous impact and leverage. So these are some of our early concepts. Some of these have developed a bit. We're in a kind of early phase here in the design process. We'll have a lot more to share as we get a little bit further downstream. Right now, we have to keep a little bit of a lid on some of the cool stuff that we're developing. But this will at least give you kind of a window into how we're thinking. I had a really beautiful sort of gift, let's say, from life which was I had the opportunity to take a year off after I stepped away from Meow Wolf and go to many of the world's best spas and bathhouses and hot springs resorts. And this is our concept for our outdoor space, which is inspired by one of my favorite hot springs in the world, Saturnia, which is in Tuscany, in Italy. Yeah, so Submersive is kind of fusing together like these different ancient bathing traditions with kind of just sort of modern science and technology and immersive art. And I'm pretty thrilled that we get to work on this. Like kind of every day of just pinching myself, like I can't believe I get to work on this today. It's quite a privilege.